Hi, so hello, sir. Today I'm going to present you two novels. So the first one is The Wars by Timothy Findley, which you know already about because you showed us in class the book and the movie, which I watched again at home. So I will compare it with another novel called The Wave by Todd Strasser. It's a book I read this last month actually, and I found it very interesting, and that's why I'll compare it with The Wars. So to complete my introduction, I would like to say what I will talk about in the next few minutes. So principally, what I will talk about is the poems, the themes in the both novels, and try to make links and connection betweens. Also, literary theories and devices. But the big part will be mostly themes because they play a big role in both novels, and I will try to compare them together. I will talk about the Marxist theory, which is the differences between two different populations, so the rich and the poor. And in The Wave, the main actor, so his name is Ben Ross. He acts like a bourgeois because he, in some ways, owns the people, his students, his own group. He owns them. He does everything. They do everything and listen to him. So in some ways, he controls them, and the price of controlling other people is very big because then it acts on how they act and when they do. And for the wars, I would say the military, because Robert Ross is a bit hurtful of living and staying at home with his parents, so he goes to the military. And kind of like the Robert Ross, he gets controlled by the military because he can't do once you're in the military, you get told what to do. You have no choice, or else it's done. You're over. So he has no choice of living, and his cost of being a human will not work because he needs to follow orders. All right, so now I'm gonna talk about an ID and an ego for both of the novels. So in The Wars, I would say I would name an ego, and that's the ego of Robert Ross of thinking like, oh, it's all of his fault of his sister dying. So then he goes to the military, thinks he's strong, thinks he's good, like thinking it's gonna be easy, but then it's hard for him. So it's just the mentality of thinking to go to the army is gonna fix everything, and thinks he takes it for granted, and it doesn't really work. But that's the ego part. And the wave, I'm gonna name an ID. It's when the movement of the students to join the wave. It's when they try to join and feel powerful by joining it, so that they think it's good, but finally and ends up being pretty bad. So now we'll talk about literary devices. And in both novels, literary devices are used to show an individual identity is stripped away by a larger system. So in the wave, the system is the classroom, and in the wars, it's the military. The first literary device is allegory, and in the entire book of The Wave, the allegory is the rise of Nazi Germany and the classroom of Mr. Ross. It's basically the same thing, and it shows how easily people can join cults without even knowing really what it's like and the story behind it. In the words, I would say the author, Mr. Findley, he uses Robert as an allegorical figure for a lost innocence. So he shows how he's trying to be a hero, but then it doesn't really work, and then he realizes how clinical life is and how important life can move fast. Connections between the both of them is that both authors uses individuals' stories to explain massive historical tragedies that are too big to understand on their own. Now we'll talk about the poetic devices, and in the wave, I would say it's the anaphora because they keep repeating throughout the whole novel strength through discipline every time they see the teacher. So if you don't know the book, it's basically kind of like the Nazis. They do salutations towards their owner, but in class, so it's Mr. Ross. Every time that class is about to start, before it starts, the whole students say strength to discipline, and that repetitions throughout the whole novel. And in the words, I would say anaphora again because we can shoot like from the movie. I saw the movie, not novel, but in the movie I saw like a repetitions of sad moments and emotions. So a lot of trauma. Most of the trauma of what happens with. And in the words, I would say the author Finley uses repetitions in the representation of mud and the rain to create a sense of stasis. Also, in the words, I would say an anaphora too, because the author, Mr. Finley, keeps on repeating the words, the descriptions of the mud and the rain to create a sense of stasis and the feeling that the word is endless and will never stop. The connections between the two of them, I would say, is repetition in the wave is used to build momentum, while in the words it shows exhaustion. So it's like the complete opposite, and you can see how the two stories are different from one and another, but still have some similarities. And I want to say that both novels were pretty hard to compare because they were pretty different in every ways. I tried to do the best I can, but at the end of the day, what I realized the biggest similarity between both of them is the humanity of the principal actors. I forgot how to say the principal actors. Yeah, so like both Mr. Ross, the Mr. Ben Ross, the teacher, and Mr. Ross, the funny how they're both called Ross. That's a similarity to their name, but or else I would say like they're both humans that tried to experience a new experience. Like for example, Ben Ross tried a movement called the wave to prove his students a point, while Mr. Ross in the wars tried to go to the military because he felt bad about the death of his sister. So they both tried as human to go into something new to make them feel better, and that's humanity. So I think that's what I mainly retain about the two novels. So thank you for listening to me.